Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is July 27th. Looking at the overall economical calendar, you guys can see that Fed Powell spoke yesterday with a 25-point hike. Now, today we're going to see the after effects. Looking at the calendar, we have jobless claims coming out at 2:30, durable goods at 8:30. What else we have coming out? We have retail, pending home sales. So a lot of information coming out today. Make sure you guys check out Market Watch. Let's jump into the charts. Looking at the overall chart, you guys can see that Boeing actually had earnings yesterday morning, and what a move Boeing is having. This is the 20-day 1 hour. Let's jump over towards the 180-day. You guys can see Boeing has been on a solid uptrend from 154 all the way up towards 235 right now. So this is not like a full earnings move. Boeing had earnings yesterday morning and is continuing to run, right? Making new highs after hours. So definitely want to see what's going on with Boeing today. It is extremely overbought. If we're looking at the RSI over here, extremely overbought. It is in the red zone. As you guys know, if she's in the red, she can continue. So let's see what happens. Overall, 235.92 is the new recent high. If she does break that 235, she could possibly go up to 240. To the downside, I want to see a break of 232. Where am I getting 232? 232 is acting as support. Not only that, it's acting as support on the 4 hour. If we drop down towards the 1 hour, the trade line is right there, right? So that 232, once we break that trade line, that's going to be confirmation of a reversal. Right now, she is basically above it, giving us the upward trend right now, right? When she's above it, she's bullish. When she's below it, she gets bearish. So watch for the break below 232, and we can start going down towards these 227 levels. But make sure you set your alerts, especially with the stock being this overbought. I know that it's had a positive earnings, but it doesn't mean that it's going to run straight up, right? So let's see what happens. Make sure you guys set your alerts to see if she breaks out to the upside or to the downside. Remember, if she does break out to the upside, it's considered a high risk long position just because the RSI is so overbought. Make sure you guys practice safety and precaution and use a stop loss. Next one we're going to talk about is Meta. Meta actually had earnings last night. So we're going to see basically the continuation of what's going on. You guys can see the earnings spike, right? This is why earnings is somewhat um, enticing because a lot of people see these major moves from that 300 to 325, right? So let's see what happens overall. 325 is the new high. If she does break that 325, she could possibly go up towards 330, maybe even higher. To the downside, same move as Boeing, right? Looking at the RSI, she's a little bit more on the overbought side, dropping down towards the 20-day chart. You guys can see that she is above the trade line, so she's bullish. So once she starts to reverse, right, you can see that we're starting to get a red candle. Doesn't really mean anything right now. But if we do start to break that 318 to the downside, we could start going down towards 311 and maybe even lower, right? She could easily give up this big move, right? Especially since it happened so fast and left no real room for support and resistance. So let's see what happens. Overall, watch for the break of 325, then we can start going to 330. If we jump over towards the 1 year chart, you can see this is the highest it's been within a year. If you jump over to a 3 year chart, you can see the 3 year chart, she could possibly go up towards that 384 level long run. So is this a giant gap fill? I don't know. Our side is a little bit more on the overbought side. We got to see what happens today, especially while it's sitting at a resistance and it's overbought. She could easily turn around on us, right? So let's see what happens. Let's jump over towards the next stock. We're going to talk about Tesla, right? Let's look at it on the 180-day chart. Tesla's trying to find support above this 180-day SMA over here. The SMA can act as support when the stock is above it. It can act as resistance. It can act as resistance when the stock is below it. So make sure you guys keep an eye on Tesla right now. She rejected the 1 year trade line at that 273 level. We jump over towards that 1 year, right? So the 1 year actually moves. So it's actually pushing the candles lower, kind of like the trade line on the smaller charts, right? So trade line gets lower, so that means that Tesla could possibly keep on going lower as well as it continues to reject it. So let's see what happens. Tesla's MACD is crossed down on the 1 year, has room for a downside and an upside. Wouldn't trust it for long positions until we start to get above the 1 year trade line around like 272, 273. Then we could start going to 280, maybe even going up towards those 300 marks. But right now, Tesla is still crossed on the downside, meaning if we do break this 254 in the long run, she could possibly sink down towards 240, maybe even lower, and maybe even retest that SMA over here. What do you guys think? Comment below. But jumping over towards like a day trade kind of situation, if she does break above 271 and holds above 271 or 272, she can start pushing up towards those 280 marks, maybe even 278 over here. To the downside, it does get kind of tricky just because she has the trade line right here at 266, and you could possibly short it maybe like $5 down towards 261 on Tesla. So very tight levels on Tesla. So she's either going to break out to the upside, right, using the SMA as support, or she's going to try to break out to the downside, maybe retest the SMA, maybe even break it, right? So you never know. I have a lot of alerts set on Tesla, but she's giving the moves. Next one and the last one we're going to talk about is SPY. SPY is basically on an uptrend, right? A lot of people probably thought, hey, Fed raised rates, that SPY is probably going to go down. SPY is actually going up. You guys can see SPY is overbought over here. Made a new after hours high of 458. So let's see what happens. It is basically trending sideways at 458. It's a little bit more on the overbought side on the 20-day, right? If we jump over towards the 180-day, you can see that she's approaching overbought. She's been more overbought before, so definitely a lot of activity going on over here. This is the 1 year high. We go to the 3 year high. She could possibly go higher in the 3 year, right? All-time high, I believe, is 479 over here. So let's see what happens. It's a little bit more on the overbought side. She could give some of this move back. Looking at the 20-day, let's drop down towards the 20-day, right? She's still above the trade line, so she's still bullish. So until she starts to break that trade line around like 457, then she could start basically going down, right? So watch out for that. Make sure you guys set your alert. 457, then she could start going down towards 456. And to the upside, if she breaks that 458, she could start going to 459 and possibly higher. If you go back towards the 3 year, next major resistance is probably going to be like that 460 zone, which was a high over here. And then we can start basically trying to gap back up towards that 479. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to continue today, or do you guys think we're going to actually give some of this move back, right? So, especially since we're overbought, if you drop down towards the smaller charts, a lot of these smaller charts are overbought as well too. I think possibly we do have a little bit of a pullback this morning. We got to see if that pullback is for real and then we start to give back everything, or if it's a fake pullback and we basically start using those lower levels as support and continue back up. That's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.